and he wouldn't do so. So we filed a lawsuit against him, and we'll leave it in the hands of the lawyers. And we take what he said very, very seriously. And they were serious comments. I mean, ultimately, it's defamatory against the business.
Well, that was done this morning, man. To make the way how he's done it, on the morning of a fight, it's just wrong. It's dangerous, and the board are now in a situation where they think shit. So I don't know.
You don't know what's going to happen because it's different on that day than any other day. It just sort of scripts go out the window. This is Eubank Ben Eubank, however you look.
I could never do what he did. Yeah. Most people in the world could never do what he did. But he's got himself into this position and he showed so much heart. He got up time and time again, and you have to respect him for that because most people
I don't mind when someone says something negative about me. You don't see me boiling over and screaming down at the interviewer. Just chilled. But I think they should answer some real questions. And the most pressing question is, why do you want to change the Muhammad Ali or abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that is intact to protect fighters?
Well, it's fascinating. Eddie Hearn all of a sudden is acting like a lunatic. You know what he sounds like to me? He sounds like he's reading a WWE script. I've known Eddie for a while, and this isn't Eddie's personality, but the other thing is when you hear somebody like Eddie talk, it reminds me of a career politician. He's running for election now, and he's like, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this. Well, where were you the last 20 years? You didn't do shit. Those guys never thought big. All of a sudden now, Eddie's going to, change boxing, and he's going to fix this, and he's going to do that, and he's going to compete with me, and he's going to do all this. I don't even think about those guys, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And like Eddie Hearn, which was hilarious, where Eddie Hearn's like, he didn't come up with this fight.
Eddie Hearn has officially filed a lawsuit against Dana White and Turki Alalshikh over their proposed changes to the Muhammad Ali Act. Hearn believes that these changes threaten the integrity of boxing, undermine fighter rights, and devalue legitimate belts. By taking legal action, Eddie Hearn is showing he will defend the sport's traditions and ensure fighters like Boots and other generational talents are protected from promoter-driven gimmicks and unsafe practices.
Naive, and he's stubborn, and he doesn't understand what the business means to us. So, again, this is not something that we do often, but we're not fucking around here because, see you, mate, well done. I found it very offensive.
Eddie Hearn explains that boxing is a constantly evolving sport and no one can fully master its business model. He prefers flexibility, recognizing that pay-per-view is still necessary for mega fights while also supporting subscription models. Eddie Hearn has consistently adapted over the years, balancing major events like the Riyadh season with strategic pay-per-views, proving his expertise in managing boxing's financial and promotional landscape while keeping fighters and fans at the forefront.
Anyone's ever going to fully get the boxing model right because it's such a sport that can change so quickly. All of a sudden you can say we're not going to do pay-per-view anymore. Then you bring in this mega fight that can really only be funded by pay-per-view. So I prefer to be a little bit liquid. If you actually look back at what I said at the years, I never said pay-per-view was dead. I said pay-per-view was dead at that price point, which is $89, $99. And I think that is the case. So I like subscription models. And if you look, we've tried to not do that many pay-per-view events. But then you have Riyadh season coming in with all these huge shows, and then you get more pay-per-views. So it's just a fluctuation.
Dana White's criticism of Eddie Hearn is baseless and disrespectful. Eddie Hearn has consistently proven his ability to deliver legitimate world-class fights, building careers and protecting fighters. Dana White's WWE-style narrative undermines boxing's integrity. Eddie Hearn prioritizes real competition, proper preparation, and meaningful titles, while Dana White relies on hype and theatrics. This contrast highlights Hearn's professionalism, experience, and genuine commitment to the sport versus White's marketing gimmicks.
And like Eddie Hearn, which was hilarious, where Eddie Hearn's like, he didn't come up with this fight. He didn't create Canelo. Yeah, no, Sherlock. Where have you seen me running around going, I came up with this idea, and say, I came up with Canelo Crawford. I made it and all this. Somebody is writing him a WWE script, and he just sounds ridiculous. You're not going to do jack.
Dana White's criticism of Eddie Hearn is baseless and disrespectful. Eddie Hearn has consistently proven his ability to deliver legitimate world-class fights, building careers and protecting fighters. Dana White's WWE-style narrative undermines boxing's integrity. Eddie Hearn prioritizes real competition, proper preparation, and meaningful titles, while Dana White relies on hype and theatrics. This contrast highlights Hearn's professionalism, experience, and genuine commitment to the sport versus White's marketing gimmicks.
Whenever I come over to the States, I kind of get the feeling that maybe the audience has disengaged a little bit with boxing over the last 10 to 20 years.
100%. So, and it's what everybody says, whether it's the Eddie Hearns or the Sheikh Turki or any of them. America's a different market. It's a tough market to figure out. You know what I mean? It is definitely fizzled out over here over the last several years. So, listen, right now, again, nobody has a television deal, right? The Zone's doing some fights, but I will have a television deal. I'll figure it out, and I will announce it ASAP. And I will start my thing in 2026, and boxing will be on television regularly now in the United States.
Dana White complains about the American boxing audience fading, but fails to see that this is the result of his promotion-driven approach. Eddie Hearn has consistently built genuine interest, producing fights with integrity and legitimate stakes. Hearn understands audiences want authentic competition and fighter development, not hype shows. While White blames the market, Eddie Hearn delivers real boxing experiences, protecting belts, creating legacies, and ensuring fans are engaged with credible, well-promoted events across the globe.
Too angry too early. You guys know me well enough to know. Number one, I've never read off a script. Number two, no one tells me what to say. But I was a bit concerned with what I saw from Dana because I like the guy, and to see someone so angry and so loud and that blood pressure, and I don't want to get into the back and forth, but I like the guy. I was like, whoa, I was like covering my ears going, what's happened here? This guy says we got no chance. This guy says we don't think big enough. This guy says we're not, we don't really know. Why are you so angry? Just relax. That's what I said, too angry too early. This is not a good sign. I want a real battle. I don't want to just go in there and, just use my tongue and my product to just out-talk people and drive them crazy. So just relax. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So when I saw the video, I was like, wow, this could be actually a lot easier than I thought. So we will see. For me, no beef, no bad blood. We'll see.
Eddie Hearn demonstrates his calm, measured approach, contrasting sharply with Dana White's aggressive and chaotic style. Hearn prioritizes clarity, strategy, and professionalism, refusing to let theatrics dictate boxing outcomes. He emphasizes patience, preparation, and fair competition, showing why he remains a respected promoter. While Dana White focuses on hype and anger, Eddie Hearn proves that genuine leadership, respect for fighters, and intelligent promotion win the long-term battles in boxing.
In boxing in America, you have all these major boxing promotional companies with dozens of world champions and a roster of great fighters who have no broadcaster. They're completely on their arse, and we are in a fantastic position. So, I think that when he talks about he's delivered two of the biggest fights of all time, I mean, if you really want to come into boxing and call Mayweather-McGregor one of the biggest fights of all time, please. It was an exhibition, it's not a fight. And by the way, Crawford-Canelo was not Dana White's fight. It was Turki Alalshikh's fight, and he was invited to be the promoter.
Eddie Hearn is pointing out the glaring truth about boxing in America. While Dana White tries to claim credit for historic fights, the reality is he had minimal involvement in genuine boxing promotions. Eddie Hearn has built a roster of legitimate champions, prioritizing fighter development, fair opportunities, and authentic contests. The contrast is clear. White thrives on hype and marketing stunts, whereas Eddie Hearn delivers real boxing, strengthens the sport, and ensures titles and fighters maintain their credibility. This is why Eddie Hearn's approach commands respect globally and proves that boxing's integrity cannot be bought with theatrics.
Talking about Zufa Boxing. This is the new project for Dana White in the world of boxing. They get underway next Friday night. Callum Walsh taking on Carlos Ocampo. That is their main event. They've announced a little bit of an undercard there as well. It's all taking place at the Apex, the new Meta Apex in Las Vegas. There'll be a limited crowd on show there. It's all to coincide with the launch of the new UFC project with the Paramount Plus over in the United States of America. This is going to be on next Friday night.
Dana White's new Zufa boxing venture is ambitious but shallow. Eddie Hearn's concern is valid because White is applying MMA-style hype to boxing, focusing on spectacle rather than meaningful competition. Eddie Hearn has built his career around structured, credible fights that elevate champions and respect traditions. White's undercard-heavy, entertainment-first model risks undermining titles and confusing fans. Eddie Hearn understands that boxing success depends on authenticity, fighter welfare, and maintaining competitive prestige, not flashy launches or Paramount Plus tie-ins. Boxing is about skill and legacy, not just media events.
Anyway, I mean, you don't have to fight for a belt. Like you're not handcuffed to go and fight for the WBC title. The reason that you want to fight for the WBC title is because that's the legacy that you've dreamed of from a kid, where you've seen your greats wear that belt. So it's all bullshit. I mean, listen. I'm also the master of spinning, and they're trying to spin what they're doing, and that's fine. I would do the same.
For the fight?
Got my heart for the fight. I've never been more motivated in my life for the fight. But this is a real fight. You see, with Frank Warren, that was a real fight. Yeah. The other stuff is funny and it gives you views and all that. But this is the real shit. Me against Dana. Me against TKO. Let's go.
I'm up for
Let's
that.
go. And listen, I might lose.
Let's say something now.
I'm very much doubt. No, they don't need to say something because they know. And they'll be as deluded and as arrogant as I am. And they'll think they're going to steamroll boxing. We'll see.
Not on your watch.
Eddie Hearn highlights the true value of legacy and meaningful competition. Unlike Dana White, who chases spectacle and inflated narratives, Hearn focuses on real fights with real stakes. He emphasizes respect for belts, traditions, and fighter achievements. Eddie Hearn's motivation stems from integrity, proving that boxing is not about hype or showmanship, but actual skill and history. He confronts threats head-on while maintaining class, showing that genuine promoters build legacies and elevate the sport beyond media stunts or temporary headlines.
I saw Eddie Hearn, who
I was just going to ask you about this. This just happened.
I love and respect this guy. I consider him a friend. I was surprised, but not surprised to see him talking shit today. But I guess my response is I look forward to it too, my brother. I look forward to it too.
I'm an MMA guy as well as a boxing guy. You love to compete.
I love.
And so does Eddie. He said he wanted to go one-on-one with Dana White. That's got to fire you up.
Yeah, and I think he's looking at it wrong. He's like, he's not doing anything that's different than anything we've ever done. Man, I don't disagree with that. I mean, there's only so many things to do, but there's certain ways to do it.
Look at that smirk.
I'm gonna stay in my little world like I always do.
Yeah.
Like I live in my own little world with UFC and lots of things in my life.
Eddie Hearn admires competition, but sees Dana White's approach as miscalculated. While White seeks confrontation and media attention, Eddie Hearn stays focused on real boxing outcomes and meaningful promotion. Hearn's calm, strategic mindset ensures he elevates fighters and protects the sport. White's reliance on spectacle contrasts sharply with Hearn's consistent professionalism, reinforcing why Eddie Hearn remains respected and why his actions, including the lawsuit, are necessary to defend boxing's integrity and ensure fighters are valued properly.
Boxing is never going to be a sport that you can control because it's out of control. in a wild and good way. It's like the narrative of boxing's dead. Boxing's not dead. Boxing's never been dead. In fact, right now, boxing's hotter, way hotter than MMA. With TKO, I mean, firstly, I think it's a good thing that Dana White is coming into boxing. You have to ask yourself, why is Dana White coming into boxing? Because he sees boxing is hot, right? It's a tremendous company. Dana's a very smart guy, Nick Khan, all these people, very, very smart people. They are used to running a business where there is a lot of control over talent. Boxing is really not like that, right? And in my opinion, the only way that you can control the elite talent like that, like you need to in that environment, is to pay them obscene amounts of money. Like, that is the only way. And these guys are smart. They're not going to overpay these fighters to the level that needs to be paid, in my opinion, to get them to fight this league and all this kind of stuff. No. What they're going to do is they're going to come in, they're going to sign young talent, some contenders, and they're going to put everybody together, probably make quite fun fights, but they're going to build something different on the production, maybe on the brand. Right. They're going to build some talent. Now, if it works, it's going to grow and it's going to grow, and then maybe that talent that they're building become big names and all that kind of stuff. I mean, one of the problems in boxing is when you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, nothing is ever the same. These guys are used to running a business where they control everything. You go to sleep at night, everything's the same. Like, he's fighting him, you're fighting you, right. And a lot of those guys, that level of talent, they go, yes, thank you.
Eddie Hearn boldly positions himself against Dana White, asserting his superiority as a boxing promoter. He highlights his track record with genuine historic fights, while dismissing White's attempts to claim credit. Hearn focuses on real accomplishments, authentic fighter development, and proper promotional strategy. Unlike Dana White, Eddie Hearn champions the sport's integrity, ensuring that events, belts, and fighters are respected. His confidence, expertise, and clear vision show why boxing thrives under Hearn's guidance, while White relies on hype and empty claims.
My guy, Eddie Hearn, whom I love. And I respect him. And I saw him today. He's out there talking smack. He's like,
I want to compete against Dana White. I want to prove that I'm much better than him as a boxing promoter.
I look forward to Dana's wrong. He can't do this. And what's he doing that's different? Everybody's doing the same thing. And I look forward to competing against him to show that I'm the best boxing promoter in the world. I look forward to it too, Eddie. I can't wait. I love this stuff. And all you boxing guys out there that want to talk crap and talk all your smack, 3 of the biggest fights in boxing history, Pacquiao Mayweather, McGregor Mayweather, and now Crawford Canelo. I've been a part of 2 of the biggest 3 fights ever in the history of boxing.
You and I have
Suck on that one, boys.
Dana White joining us.
Dana White's attempt to position himself as a top promoter is laughable when compared to Eddie Hearn's record and methodology. While White emphasizes hype and theatrics, Eddie Hearn has spent years carefully building legitimate fights with credible champions, cultivating talent and respecting boxing history. White tries to claim involvement in historic bouts like Pacquiao Mayweather and Crawford Canelo, but anyone with knowledge of the sport knows that his role was minimal at best. Eddie Hearn has consistently created high-stakes events with genuine competitive integrity, ensuring fighters are fairly compensated and the sport's legacy is protected. White focuses on promotion and media attention, hoping to dazzle audiences with flash and spectacle, but lacks understanding of what it means to truly grow boxing as a sport. Eddie Hearn's professionalism, foresight, and commitment to authentic matchups illustrate why he is not only a better promoter, but also a guardian of the sport. The contrast between hype-driven narratives and real achievements could not be starker, making Eddie Hearn's lawsuit and continued vigilance entirely justified.
In boxing, the majority of the revenue from the show goes to the fighter. In MMA, the majority of the revenue from the show goes to the promoter. Good luck to him. I wouldn't moan, but that's not how we work in boxing. And I'm not interested in a fake belt. I'm not interested in changing the Muhammad Ali Act. I'm not interested in changing the shape of the ring or the rules. What I'm interested in is the greatness of the sport of boxing. And what you're looking at here is the greatness of the sport of boxing. I want to see fighters like Boots, who I believe can go down as generational greats, like Hagler, like Hearns, like Whittaker, like all these great fighters. He is of the same ability. And our belts matter.
Eddie Hearn makes it crystal clear why boxing under his leadership remains the pinnacle of combat sports. Unlike Dana White, who prioritizes promoter revenue and superficial marketing stunts, Hearn ensures that the fighter always comes first, preserving the sport's integrity and legacy. His opposition to fake belts and attempts to alter the Muhammad Ali Act demonstrates that Hearn values history, rules, and fairness over gimmicks. He draws parallels to legends like Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and Pernell Whitaker, highlighting that modern champions like Boots deserve recognition and proper compensation, not diluted accolades for profit. While White attempts to blend boxing with MMA-style spectacle, Hearn focuses on cultivating true generational talent, legitimate titles, and maintaining competitive rigor. This philosophy strengthens the sport, attracts true fans, and ensures fighters are honored for their skill rather than their media presence. Hearn's approach guarantees that boxing remains an art and a sport of merit, not a marketing circus, proving why he is both a visionary and protector of boxing.